Morning everybody, hope you're all okay. Thought I'd get up and do the wobblegob this morning. Been awake quite a while. Yeah, it's been 2 weeks I think since I did my last one, and been very busy, which is why I didn't do it last week. Not that cracking today. Yeah, work stuff, unnecessary stress really. So I just thought I'd come and chat to you guys for a little bit this morning, cheer myself up, get myself ready for the day. So what's been going on? General chatting. You've just seen the video, a couple of videos that I did of family day out for my daughter's 21st to Beamish Museum. We had a lovely day. Typical, it was gorgeous, sunny, and they have trams that go all the way around, and we were moving from one of the areas to the other area, so we thought we'll get a tram, open top, went and sat on top deck. Only time it rained while we were there. We got soaked, but anyway, we dried out and then had cream scones in the garden, which was kind of nice. And then went to Ripley Castle, not actually to the castle, it was to a very muddy field, to go to a salvage fair, which is AS Fairs. I follow them on Instagram. They have them all over the country, but just to go for a rummage, ended up buying 2 watering cans. I've got a bit of an obsession with watering cans ever since I went down to a garden in Norfolk last year, and they've got vintage watering cans all lined up, so I've now got 3. Had to rearrange a bit my garden to make them look really nice, so they're there, which is lovely. I thought I'd share this with you first. I don't know whether or not the Yorkshire Post is all over everywhere. I'm assuming it's not, and it's just in Yorkshire. But I was interviewed by a lovely lady called Sally, and then I think it was a gentleman called Ian that came to do some photos and ended up having a bit of a spread in here. So this is the magazine. So even the 52 stitches got a little bit of a photography bit. I'm a little bit annoyed that I didn't have my hoop upright. I kept having to move it, but that's my studio and some close-ups. The tags featured in there as well. So I just thought I'd read it, because some of you might not have read it. It was online, but you have to pay to read it online. So it says, "Darned lot to teach world." They come up with some very weird headlines. It's very strange. So textile artist Anne Brooke has created an online community through her love of stitching. So all you guys got a mention, which is amazing. Sally Clifford finds out more on a visit to the craft room in her Brighouse home. Life is a journey, providing endless opportunities and possibilities along the way. Becoming a social media personality, which makes me really cringe and feel a bit uncomfortable, wasn't textile artist Anne Brooke's intention. It was an accidental destination she arrived at through unique circumstances. Teaching textiles, and then they got it wrong, so it went teaching textiles, although Anne's role teaching art at Brighouse High School, very weird, kept her busy caring for children of key workers during the COVID pandemic. There were days when, like many, she wanted a distraction from lockdown life. It began with a Sunday evening stitching challenge she set herself to distract from the working week ahead. Brandishing the beautiful wooden bobbin given to her by a friend she met at one of her many crafting workshops she has attended over the years, she carefully unfolds the intricately stitched and embellished fabric roll around what is now a wonderful wall hanging. On a Sunday evening, I was stitching some fabric, filming myself doing it. I put it on YouTube to share what I was doing, she says. Confined within 4 walls during lockdown was when Anne's stitching sessions began to take off. As we were home 24/7, I needed a distraction beyond schoolwork, so I started recording and sharing the stitching I was doing. People started finding me on YouTube and were asking if they could stitch along with me. Fabric books with wadding pages ornately decorated with bullion knots, woohoo, they got a mention, and Suffolk puffs and other embellishments, elaborately decorated paper luggage tags, flags and quilts, all stitched with memories from fabrics repurposed and brought back to life in a tangible form rather than stuffed away in a jar or a box. That got a mention as well. Just some of the projects Anne has led since setting up her YouTube channel in 2020. I set the challenge we are doing, and everybody stitches, creating an online community of stitchers, says Anne, who says it reminds her of watching her mum stitching around the kitchen table with her friends. By the end of the first year, her video channel had amassed 10,000 followers. And that was just in a year, adds Anne, who believes being left-handed, woohoo, is particularly beneficial to participants. The overwhelming response to the weekly challenges tagged #52 for every week of the year, and knowing the benefits the stitching sessions were bringing to her followers gave Anne the impetus to continue. She asked her crafty followers to send her their favourite tag from the hashtag 52 tag that Anne made in the first half of the year. Initially, she received 37 envelopes through the post, but the response was such she ended up having to put a box in the doorway to accommodate the amount of tags arriving. She also put a map on the wall to identify where her followers were from. They started coming from abroad: the US, Canada, South America, India, Australia, the whole of Europe and the whole of the UK. She recalls the first tag she and her eldest daughter opened. The meaningful message within was from a family recently bereaved. Anne knew that the preparation and time spent doing the online sessions was worth every minute for the difference it was making to her followers' lives. She also runs the Stitching Hour and is developing Wobblegob Wednesdays and Wobblegob Wellness sessions for those like her who like to chat. See, we keep getting a mention. Sewing has been a consistent thread from childhood along with art. Creativity is in the genes. I suppose my mum was my biggest influence. When I was younger, she was a painter and did floral things for church and really encouraged me and my sister to do what we wanted to do. Completing her art degree at Salford University and a teaching qualification enabled Anne to eventually combine her creativity with her career, working initially in education in Lincoln. Marriage to husband Robert brought Anne, who was originally from Silston Common near Barnsley, to Brigg House in 1998, where for more than 20 years she's taught art at Brigg House High School. Until recently, she was head of the art department. Demand from her social media presence, just makes me cringe, prompted her to teach part-time so she can focus on developing the online community. She started to help fellow stitchers cope with lockdown life. I tried to upcycle as much as possible, and when my mum passed away, I found she had dressmaking patterns from the clothes she'd made us when we were little, so I started to include these in my work. One thing that's underpinned my whole work has been journeys and memories. She connects with her online crafting community from the comfort of her studio and sewing room in the family home she shares with Robert and her daughters Harriet and Neve. They were both very, very impressed that they got a mention and the fact that their names were spelt correctly. Samples of her work bearing the strapline hashtag for the low stitch decorate the walls and cupboards. It's a light and airy space and reflective of her creative spirit. Embroidery hoops hang above her desk where work is underway on a part-painted hoop, and explores this particular project called Whole. The whole represents me, the whole person, but I realise the physical whole is my mum because she isn't here anymore, and that's the inspiration for the hoop series. It's stitched with all my colours, and I've been teaching myself darning, which I think is where that little word, they just took the whole strap line for the thing, which I find quite funny. The idea with darning is, what do you do if you have a hole? You repair it. I wouldn't be doing this if my mum hadn't have encouraged me. Before launching her online presence through her sewing channel and her sewing haberdashery website, Handmade and Haberdashery, a play on her name and her passion for handmaking, she showcased her work at events including the annual Art in the Pen, Crafts in the Pen, Yarndale at Skipton, Auction Mart and Saltsair Arts Trail. She also participated in the first Calderdale Open Arts exhibition at the British Craft and Trade Fair in Harrogate. She says this was all an important part of my journey, which features throughout her work. When I first started working on my own things, I developed paper stitch collages. Because I'm art trained, I was happier working with paper than fabric. But I love stitches. I use my sewing machine as a drawing tool. All my pictures were based on walks I'd been on. I'm obsessed with flowers and plants, and I would try to do a map of either where I'd been on a walk or somewhere that was important to me. Framed postcards from the 1940s that she saw from charity shops transformed with artistic hand stitching and embellishments are among the beautiful handmade objects displayed around the walls of the purpose-built craft room dominating the outside space of her Brigg House home. Floral painted tablecloths decorate the wooden tables arranged around this tranquil space where Anne can let her creativity flair truly flow. Postcards were things to do with journeys. I was thinking about journeys, and whenever we were on holiday, we always sent postcards. I love the fact that they've been written on and posted. I did a series of them because I enjoyed doing them. Ideas pop into my head because we're in such a visual world and you see things all the time. Anna's also self-published 2 books and is keen to participate in exhibitions. For now, she's enjoying the journey and sharing her skill with others. What keeps me going is thinking people are waiting for the next thing. It's just nice knowing people like what I do. Yeah, it's a lovely article. And it is true, what keeps me going is thinking of all you guys, really, and what I need to be doing next. And I suppose that leads quite nicely into Wobblegob Wellness. So even though I woke up this morning and I feel like I'm having a bit of a bad day already, and it's not even 8:30, just knowing I'm just coming chatting to you lot just makes me feel so much better. So I think my wobblegob wellness today is you lot supporting me, which is amazing, continuing to watch and join in and subscribe to my channel, and yeah, just giving me something. It's not that I really need something to focus on. I have lots of things to focus on, but I just really enjoy doing this. I never ever thought, it's really funny because if I think back to when my dad wanted me to be an accountant, I always said that the one thing you should never ever do, and I talk about this when I do a talk, I should never be sat in an office by myself because I'll just end up talking to myself. How did I know that when, how old will I have been then? What year was I in? I was 15 or 16. That's a long time ago. Isn't that funny? I'm sat in a room by myself and I am talking to myself. That was, oh gosh, I'm like Mystic Meg. It's like a premonition. I always said I should never ever do that because I will go slightly bonkers. Yeah, but even though I am sat here talking to myself, I am talking to everybody else. Or in my head, I am talking to everybody else. Anyway. So yes, that's my wellness. What else has been going on? Went and did a workshop with Skipped and Stitches, which was lovely. We did the boxes again. I haven't thought to bring my box into my shed. I'm not in my shed, I'm in my studio. Yeah, so that was a lovely day working with the ladies then. They made some gorgeous boxes. One lady, there's always somebody that's always, I like to call them the naughty corner people. I'm always in the naughty corner. Because the boxes we make are 10 by 10 and she wanted to make a 5 by 5 and I didn't think it would work or it'd be very fiddly to do. Anyway, she managed it. Absolutely beautiful. It's a teeny tiny box. So I'm going to be doing a blog post and update and it's got all the pictures and everything on that. So I'll message when that one's come out. That's just reminded me that's something else that needs to go on my to-do list. So that's Skipped and Stitches. We had a workshop at my shed with the fabulous Liz Cooksey, and I've got my pieces here that I'm still working on. So the 3D wire forms, looking at wrapping and binding and stitching and adding lots of other bits and pieces. So these are my bits that I made. If you've been to my shed, I have 2 samples that I've done on previous workshops. Even I think I've done this workshop now 3 times and I still love doing it. If you can get on a Liz Cooksey workshop, it's so well worth it. She is coming back again here next year in January, but it's already full and I've got a waiting list. So I might have to have a chat to her and see if she can come again on another date. But this one is going to go on a bobbin and it's going to go in my bedroom. So yeah, so I'm busy sat making little bits and pieces for that on an evening. So that's been really, really good. I'm a member of Fabricology, which is our group that was, I think I've mentioned this before, which we were formerly the Halifax branch of the Embroiderers Guild, and we had a lovely workshop. It was a Zoom workshop with Jessie Chorley. So we all ordered, because we're doing a domestic theme this year, so we all got a tea towel of Jessie's, and she did an online Zoom session with us, showing us her unique way of stitching. And it was just lovely. We got to have a bit of a sneak inside her studio, and she got us all started on our tea towels. And I haven't stitched on my tea towel. I've got 2 tea towels because I thought, well, I'd like one just with the illustration on, and then I might have another one as maybe a project at some point that I can sit and stitch. But I wanted to add some of Jessie's illustrations onto my apron. So if you've not heard on one of the previous wobblegobs, as a group we're doing aprons. That's our theme for this year, and we're attaching different bits to our apron. So I traced off some of Jessie's prints, so because I've done this because it's a personal piece of work, it's not going anywhere. I'd never do something like that if it was a piece of work that was going somewhere. This is just for me, because obviously it's Jessie's copyright and everything like that. But what I've done is I took the bow off the top. So anyway, the first bit that I've got is this bit here. So last month we did Earth from the Air, so it was an aerial view. So this is my house and my shed living on Rastrick Common. So I thought it fitted really nicely inside this embroidered bit here, and I've done a little bit of the actual pattern. I don't know if I'll do, I don't think I'll do the whole thing. I just quite liked that little bit. Just got another little bit just there to do, which I realised I hadn't done. I quite like how it frames that, and then I've started patching a few little bits. So for my domestic theme, the fabrics that I'm adding are all old clothes, so they're either old shirts or old bits that the kids had or anything like that. So then I've added the Home Sweet Home bow from Jessie's, and then I've also got a piece getting a bit scrunched now. This was when we worked with Jennifer Collier working in paper. So this is the pocket on my pinny. So I've used an old envelope, and we'd done paper piecing, and is that everything? January, February, March, April, May. Yes. And then I've got a little house here at the bottom that I'm just beginning to stitch as well. So yeah, so that's my piece from Fabricology. I need to do something with this. I think I might have to put a piece of cardboard in it so that it stays flat. I've ended up ironing interfacing on the inside just to try and keep it a little bit flatter. If this lasts right till the end of the year without getting damaged, it'll be amazing. But I think what I might have to do is just put something over the top just to hold it so it keeps it flat, and then I can just wrap my piece around it. So I've really enjoyed doing that. So that's my apron. Then obviously we've had the double bank holidays. So the first bank holiday was when we did Liz Cook's Day. Then I had Harriet's 21st. Then it's been the coronation. Then we've had, then it's been Van. So Van update. I've just done a video on our YouTube channel. I'm not doing like what people do where they film it and film everything they're doing. It's just little snippets of different bits because people are interested in what we were doing. Quite exciting. We've got walls. So I think this weekend I was meant to have a workshop with the lovely Fiona Balding. Unfortunately, she's not very well, so she's not coming. So it means I've got a free weekend. So I think I'm carpeting and building walls and putting flooring down and stuff. So that's very, very exciting. And then we've got Stitch and Chat on Friday. And then the following weekend, I'm off to Wolverhampton to do a talk and a workshop, which is exciting. So yeah, it's absolutely crazy. There won't be a wobblegob next week because I'm in work all day Wednesday, marking A-level, which is going to be fun. I'll be glad when that's done and dusted out the way. And then life hopefully will just resume to a little bit of normal. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed the little videos at the start. I just thought it's one of those things I'd do, just video where I'm going. There's a lot of my feet walking everywhere, and yeah, that's it. So I hope everybody has a lovely Wednesday. I hope mine gets better as it goes along. I'm sure it will, because I'm going to sit and do some work this morning before I go into work. Yeah, what's the weather like? It was sunny, it's now gone a bit grey, so I'm hoping maybe when I get home from work I might be able to get a bit of gardening done. I always find that makes you feel a lot better. So happy Wednesday, everybody, from a wobblegob. Mwah. Love and hugs.